Okay, I made it into the parking lot, as you can see. So currently I'm still working on Get a Life Chloe Brown. I think my Libby hold for this audiobook should be ready, because I find that that's the easiest for me to get into at work. I have pulled out physical books before, but like last night, every time I went on a break, it was just so easy to just grab my headphones and grab my phone. You know what I mean? Which technically I could do the same thing because I do have Kindle on my phone. But in terms of the physical book, I was more into using the physical book when I was working during the daytime, but it kind of seems silly because you think at nighttime it's less traffic and less distractions, but I don't know. It just, because I'm just over any type of fuss when it gets late at night, I'm just ready to just be still. Especially because like a lot of times I'll sit and lean back and it's just nice to just hear the story and not have to worry about flicking a page, which is funny because I am somebody that is a sucker for physical books. Like I really do enjoy having paper in hand. Like I love the act of turning a page, you know. But yeah, for this situation, for working at nights, it's just nice to just be, like I said, be able to grab my phone and go. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to check my Libby, because I remember that because I have the Kindle version on my phone and on my Kindle. However, I remember when the audiobook came through, I wasn't ready to get into it yet, and so I had it returned and then had them deliver it to me later. So I'm actually going to check on that right now. Hey y'all, so it is Saturday, August 10th, I believe. We are currently heading to the Riverwalk to go for a walk. Yeah. According to my car, it says 81 degrees, but it doesn't feel too bad. It is very, very, very humid. But that's just how it be where we live. But yeah, hopefully I remember to get some shots for you guys. But yeah, as of right now, this is my only weekend plan. Yeah, time is ticking. A lot of things are changing, and a new chapter is coming, so pretty exciting. Anyways, I'll check in with you guys later. Okay, it is 1:11 in the morning. I'm coming to you purple toadette, you know. I just finished reading Not the Plan by Gia DeCadenet. You already know from the fact that you can see how much my cheeks are hurting right now. This book, sorry, I need to quiet down. The boys are sleeping. This book is so good. This book, I feel like this is really gonna be a book that is just ingrained in my head. Like, I don't see how I could forget Issa and Kareem. Like, the workplace politics that are actually literal politics, the drama, the laughter, the sadness, the despair, oh, the love, oh, the spice. Is I feel like my emotions are even higher because I can't like fully like go all out because, you know, it's 1:11 and my family is sleeping. But it's funny because I told myself it was like 10 something. I was like, okay, I'm gonna read until 11. It was 11 something. I was like, okay, I'm gonna read until 12. Baby, I was finishing the book. It could have been 2 in the morning and I would have been finishing the book, period. And I'm so glad I did. Like, I just couldn't get enough. Like, I really could not get enough. This was so good. I gave it 5 stars. I already put my review on Goodreads. This was so good. Like, the love story, and I just like really, I think something that stood out to me the most was, I'm not trying to give too much spoilers, but Issa's relationship with her mom and how she's had to overcome a lot of aspects with that, you know? And it's just interesting to read about, because certain things, definitely not all things, but certain things with that relationship kind of made me think. I'll just leave it at that. It made me think. Maybe like a few things, certainly not 100%, but it was greater than 0% that made me think. But yeah, and just the devotion that they have to each other. Talking about Issa and Kareem, oh my goodness. And then even like his family's support with, because they've both gone through and are going through some really crappy things, not only in their personal life, but at work too. It's just like, but it's just so awesome that like when they found each other, they had each other, you know what I mean? They just were able to go through those things together, you know? And even when they hit a big hiccup, still like the one still had the other support, you know what I mean? And oh gosh, I feel like I'm usually so much more eloquent with how I review books, but I really enjoyed this book. And this thing was only, not including acknowledgements, it was only 303 pages. It was cute. It was really cute. Like, even the book, not me hitting myself in the face. Even, I hope y'all can hear it, because I just realized that the way I'm holding the phone, like covering the mic, because I was not planning to like record anything. I was just trying to read my book. But I just had to get my emotions as raw as possible. They would have been more rawer, whatever, if I was recording while reading, but this wasn't the plan, honey boo boo. It really wasn't. But this book was just too good not to like have to just gush about it, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, it's like this year I've been on a journey of really getting back into reading more, and not only just reading more, but stepping outside of my comfort zone and reading other genres of books, you know? So I've read thrillers, I've read memoirs, I've read historical fiction, you know what I mean? I think I've also read like just plain fiction. No matter what I read, even when I enjoy those books, no matter what I read, I will always I will always be a romance girly. And even though I haven't read fantasy in quite some time, I will always be a romantasy girly. Like, if it's romance, but the thing is, that's the thing. It could be regular romance fiction. It could be historical fiction romance. It could be romantasy. It doesn't matter what the subgenre is. If the main flavor that's hitting my palate is romance, count your girl in. And just count your girl in, because like, and I'm so excited because let's go see the other books I have. Let me know if you're this kind of person, but I'm kind of scared to see when these books are due, because I've definitely had them for a while. But so these are the 3 physical books I have left from my big library haul that I did last. And so I remember the last time that I touched the stack, I had organized it in a way where it was like, because I know how much I love romance, and especially if I have just finished reading a book that was kind of hard to get through, I always get romance books and try to read them in between other books that may be stepping out of my comfort zone or may not be like my top genres to get into. Now I've read 3 romances in a row, but whatever. I'm reading, and that's all that matters. Like, and that wasn't even the plan. I think it's because just with my work schedule, and I think I've shared this in another clip, but sometimes I want to read, but I don't necessarily have the energy to sit and like hold a book. You know what I mean? Like, as crazy as that sounds, sometimes I just want to like have my eyes closed and slumped, but like still be getting a story. And so I've been listening to audiobooks, and so I haven't necessarily gotten audiobooks to all that's in my stack, you know? So the only book that was in my stack that I got an audiobook for was Get a Life, Chloe Brown. And that's because I had requested that hold a long time ago when I first, well, not that long ago, but when I first got into the series, the Brown Sister series, that's when I had requested that book, and it was a long wait. It was probably like 4 to 6 weeks a wait for I requested both the Kindle copy and the audiobook copy, and they both were a pretty long wait. So it just happened to line up well with me having the physical book. But yeah, but I say all that to say the next 3 books I have are The Dead Take the A Train. If I'm remembering this quickly, this is kind of fantasy, but it's like modern fantasy because it's based in New York City. But this is the actual like blurb from the inside. My name is Julie Cruz, and it's my job to put bad things to rest. Julie is a coked up, burnt out 30-year-old. Oh, coked up. I didn't even notice that part. Burnt out 30-year-old whose only retirement plan is dying early. She's been trying to establish herself in the NYC magic scene, and she'll work the most gruesome gigs, exorcise the nastiest demons, and make deals with the cruelest gods to claw her way to the top, but nothing can prepare her for the toughest job yet when her best friend Sarah shows up at her door in need of help. Keeping Sarah safe becomes top priority. Julie is desperate for a quick fix to break the dead end grind and save her friend, but her power grab sets off a deadly chain of events that puts Sarah and the entire world directly in the path of annihilation. The first explosive adventure in the Carry-On City duology, The Dead Take the A Train, fuses Cassandra Claw's cosmic horror and Richard Kadri's gritty fantasy into a full-throttle thrill ride straight into New York's magical underbelly. So that is the book I will be reading next. I'm going to honor the order that I have these books in, especially considering that I just read 3 romances in a row. So I am properly primed for a non-romance book, I guess. But after I read this, guess what we have next? Not only is it a romance, it's a Regency romance. This is called, a Regency romance with a lady of color. We love to see it. But this is called The Dead Take the A Train is by Cassandra Claw and Richard Kadri. Then the next one will be The Bewildered Bride by Vanessa Riley. And it says advertisements for love series. So it's a series. I hope this is the first book because I don't like reading series out of order. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll read a series out of order. I'm not gonna hesitate. Especially if I already have the book in my possession. But let's see. I guess I'm gonna have to Google it because they don't really tell you if it's in order, but so this is the bewildered bride. The rest of them are the bittersweet bride, the bashful bride, the butterfly bride. So Ruth Kroom, a Blackamoor heiress, was supposed to get married in a gorgeous wedding gown made from her father's exquisite fabrics. Instead, they eloped to Gretna Green, and upon returning, their carriage was beset by highwaymen, and she witnessed the murder of her new husband. Now, 4 years later, with a child, she wants to move on with her life. A marriage of convenience will do. Ruth already had a love for the ages. Adam Wilkie is really the heir to the Wycliffe barony, which he never told Ruth. Too much danger, so many secrets. When he was nearly beaten to death and sold into impressment, he thought Ruth had died too. Ready for revenge, he finally returns and discovers Ruth alive, with a son who could only be his, and she is furious to discover he lied to her. Now it'll take more than remembered passion if he hopes to win his reluctant wife back. I did not get this the first time. Like, I did not fully absorb that the first time I read this thing. The husband that she thought she lost is actually alive, and he's an heir. Wow. Okay. Last but not least, it's kind of a cheat because it is kind of a romance, and I know this is going to hit close to home. First of all, get a look at this cover. This thing is beautiful, yes, because it's mainly yellow, but look at that. That is so beautiful. So this book is called A Daughter of Fair Verona by Christina Dodd. If you know, you know. Fair Verona, where two star-crossed lovers laid their life. This is where we're laying the scene, okay? So this is supposed to be like a spin on Romeo and Juliet, how basically their love doesn't end tragically. They actually do get together, and then they have children. And one of those is a daughter, and she doesn't believe that love is for her, the type of love that her parents have, that she doesn't believe that that's in everything, that everybody is privy to that. Like, she feels like her parents are like one in a million. But it kind of gives hints that obviously she ends up kind of falling for somebody. Let's see what it says. Once upon a time, a young couple met and fell in love. You probably know that story and how it ended. Hint, badly. Only here's the thing. That's not how it ended at all. Romeo and Juliet are alive and well, and the parents of 7 kids. I'm the oldest, with the emphasis on old, a certified spinster at 20, and happy to stay that way. It's not easy to keep your taste for romance with parents like mine. Picture it, constant monologues, passionate declarations, fighting, making up, making out. It's exhausting. Each time they've presented me with a betrothal, I've set out to find the groom to be a more suitable bride. After all, someone sensible needs to stay home and manage this household. But their latest match, Duke Stefano, isn't so easy to palm off on anyone else. The debaucher has had 3 previous wives, all of whom met unfortunate ends. Conscience forbids me from consigning another woman to that fate. As it turns out, I don't have to. At our betrothal ball, where quite by accident I meet a beautiful young man who makes me wonder if perhaps there is something to love at first sight, I stumble upon Duke Stefano with a dagger in his chest. But who killed him? His late wife's families, his relatives, his mistress, his servants? Half of Verona had a motive. And when everyone around the Duke begins dying, disappearing, or descending into madness, I know I must uncover the killer before death lies on me like an untimely frost. Man, I'm so excited. Because again, forgetting what my reaction was when I first read all of these blurbs, I love that it's a spinoff on a story that I've read before. But a story nonetheless. I also really love that how it has like a mystery and thriller aspect. I think maybe as I get more into it, people will see it more as a mystery than a thriller, but it seems pretty thrilling so far. So, but yeah, needless to say, I'm thoroughly excited. That book looks beautiful, and But this will be the next book I get into. This is a thick baby, 390 pages. So not that much longer than Not the Plan, which was 303 pages. So just about 100 pages longer. But anyways, I'm going to stop rambling because it is now almost 2 o'clock and I need to get into the bed. I'll see you guys when I see you. Good morning, beautiful people. I'm still coming to you bonnet covered and gassy apparently. Over the last 40 hours I've been dropping some hot ones. I'm just saying TMI, but if you're also somebody that is trying to find a good balance between meat products, veggies, grains, maybe trying certain things, and my stomach, like growing up, my stomach has never been one to like be extremely sensitive. But as I get older, I realized that I was attributing sensitivity to like throwing up or feeling nauseous. My stomach is sensitive in a different way. Like if it doesn't agree with something, I'm just going to be gassy for however long it takes for all of that to completely clear my system. So, and I'm sure what I'm eating now is not helping. I'm eating oatmeal, but I made it with evaporated milk and sweetened condensed milk because we don't have any nut milk. And the texture is great, the flavor is great, but because it is cow's milk, I'm sure that's adding to the already jacked up GI tract situation I got going on. So it's so good though. Yeah, I know that last night, aka earlier this morning, I finished Not the Plan by Gia DeCadenet, and I would show y'all again, but y'all are currently sitting on top of her Get a Life Chloe Brown and my pack of cotton athletic tapes, kinetic tapes. So you already know what she looks like. But yeah, so the next book I'm gonna get into, at least while I'm eating, I'm most likely gonna get some editing done after I finish eating, but this is The Dead Take the A Train by Cassandra Caw and Richard Kadrey. So interested to get into it, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm on page 2 and this is already like preparing me for this to be a very gory book. I feel like I've read books with gore in them before, but I don't ever remember getting into a book and it started off like this from the bat. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of making it hard for me to eat and read at the same time. I think if I was eating eggs, I would not be able to keep eating. But yeah, this is very detailed already. And like I said, it's only page 2. to a very crazy start, and I'm officially at the point where I can no longer put anything in my mouth while reading what I'm reading. So, I mean, I've basically finished my oatmeal. I'm not gonna force it. Okay. Since I have finished eating for now, I'm gonna go ahead and add this to my Goodreads and put that I've made it to page 6 or 7 rather, and then I'm going to edit because I don't think my stomach can take this. Like, it's not early in the morning, but I only just recently woke up, so but now that I know what I'm getting into, it's a little bit easier. But I should have already known, like, just from the cover itself. Like, the color, don't get me wrong, the cover is pretty cool, it's gnarly, but even with all that detail, it's like, you know, there's gonna be some gross stuff in here. But anyways, I'll see you guys later. I'm currently going ham on some boiled peanuts. Yeah, I just want to come on here and chat for a little bit and give a little update. My baby boy is turning a year old, so I will not be working the full weekend, which is nice, because 2 weeks ago, when it was also my weekend to work, I also had a day off. Now the thing about this day off is that it's in the middle of the weekend. So I will have to come back to work on the Sunday evening, but at least I'll have baby boy's birthday off. Okay, I'm coming to you guys rough looking, crusty voicing. I just want to get into this book haul. I had some Amazon gift cards, and I really wanted to treat myself to some books because I haven't bought my books in I haven't bought myself books in like forever. That's what we're going to get into right now. So I'm really excited because, trust me, I love going to the library, but there's also something about just having your own books. So the first book is Continuum by Danielle Allen. It says missed opportunities, chance encounters, instant connections, everything happens for a reason. Life is made of little interconnected moments. Any one decision can completely change the trajectory of your life, yet somehow you'll still end up exactly where you're supposed to be, or at least that's how it happened for Aisha Young. It's 158 pages long, so a very short read. This is definitely something I can finish in a day. Okay, so there's three books in this one. So next up we have, So next up we have the next two books. So I'm pretty sure I talked to you guys about it, but I read The Wedding Date by Jasmine Guillory, and I really loved it. I'm pretty sure I rated that either 4 or 5 stars. I'm want to say that it was 5 stars, but there's other books in that series. I'm pretty sure it's a standalone series, and so I'm really excited because I really enjoyed her writing. It evoked a lot of emotion, and then there was some spice in it, but not too much spice in it. And I feel like yeah, it was just really awesome. So the next two books in her series are The Wedding Party and Royal Holiday. So The Wedding Party, let's see. Maddie and Theo have two things. Ugh, they really jacked this book up. Like, that's annoying. The back of this is like bent. It's like normally that wouldn't annoy me because I've bought used books before, but when you pay full price for what's supposed to be a brand new book, like that's really irritating. But anyways, I'll get over it. So okay, The Wedding Party. Maddie and Theo have two things in common. Alexa is their best friend. They hate each other. Okay, so like I said, it's a standalone series, but they're already mentioning Alexa, who's the main character. She was the protagonist of the first book in this series. After an oops, we made a mistake night together, neither one can stop thinking about the other. With Alexa's wedding rapidly approaching, Maddie and Theo both share bridal party responsibilities that require more interaction with each other than they're comfortable with. Underneath the sharp barbs they toss at each other is a simmering attraction that won't fade. It builds until they find themselves sneaking off together to release some tension when Alexa isn't looking, agreeing they'll end it once the wedding is over. When the wedding date is suddenly pushed up and they have only a few months left of secret rendezvous, they find themselves disappointed that the end is near. Two people this different can't possibly have a connection other than purely physical, right? But as with any engagement with a nemesis, there are unspoken rules that must be abided by. First and foremost, don't fall in love. So I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm already here for it. And look at that cover. It's so cute. I feel like all the covers to the books in these series, like I think I really like them. So then the last book in this series is Royal Holiday. And already the texture of the first two books is different from this last book. Like this last book feels more like I don't know how to explain it. The texture of these books and also Continuum feels this way is like kind of um what's the word I'm looking for? Like almost suede like, if that makes any sense. But this is just feels like a regular paperback. Okay. Vivian Forrest has been out of the country a grand total of one time. So when she gets the chance to tag along on her daughter Maddie's work trip to England to style a royal family member, she can't refuse. She's excited to spend the holidays taking in the magnificent British sights, but what she doesn't expect is to become instantly attracted to a certain private secretary, his charming accent, and his unyielding formality. Malcolm Hudson has worked for the Queen for years and has never given a personal private tour until now. He is intrigued by Vivian the moment he meets her and finds himself making excuses just to spend time with her. When flirtatious banter turns into a kiss under the mistletoe, things snowball into a full-on fling. With a ticking timer on their holiday romance, they are completely fine with ending their short, steamy affair come New Year's Day. Or are they? Then we have The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandana or Sanju Mandana. I think it's Sangu Mandana. But I love this cover. Focus, focus. And we gotta love that the witch in the picture has on a yellow dress. I love it. Okay. So this says, as one of the few witches in Britain, Mika Moon knows she has to hide her magic, keep her head down, and stay away from other witches so their powers don't mingle and draw attention. And as an orphan who lost her parents at a young age and was raised by strangers, she's used to being alone, and she follows the rules, with one exception: an online account where she posts videos pretending to be a witch. She thinks no one will take it seriously, but someone does. An unexpected message arrives, begging her to travel to the remote and mysterious nowhere house to teach three young witches how to control their magic. It breaks all of the rules, but Mika goes anyway and is immediately tangled up in the lives and secrets of not only her three charges, but also an absent archaeologist, a retired actor, two long-suffering caretakers, and Jamie. The handsome and prickly librarian of Nowhere House would do anything to protect the children, and as far as he's concerned, a stranger like Mika is a threat, an irritatingly appealing threat. As Mika begins to find her place at Nowhere House, the thought of belonging somewhere feels like a real possibility. But magic isn't the only danger in the world, and when peril comes knocking at their door, Mika will need to decide whether to risk everything to protect a found family she didn't know she was looking for. So I've really been getting into my fantasy bag lately. Like, I keep forgetting how much I truly do enjoy fantasy. And the book that I just finished, well, one of the two books that I just finished, which is it's the first book in the Fae of Snow and Ice series by Krista. Oh my gosh, I forgot her last name. Okay, so this is the Fae of Snow and Ice series by Krista Street. So the first book was Court of Winter, and I finished that like a day or two ago. I just started last night. I just started the second book, which is I think it's Thorns of Frost. And this series really, really brought back home like how much I really, really enjoy reading fantasy. Like, I have been on a journey this year of just reading just getting back into reading in general, like making that more of what I do instead of just sitting in front of a screen. And it's been really enjoyable, but I've also been trying to dabble in other genres, but I always get brought back home because I love romance and I love fantasy. Next package. Okay, only two books in this one. Okay, so here we have On Rotation, a novel by Shirlene Obuobi. But this says Ghanaian American Angela Appiah has checked off all the boxes for the perfect immigrant daughter. Enroll in an elite medical school, snag a suitable lawyer slash doctor slash engineer boyfriend, surround self with a gaggle of successful and or loyal friends. But then it all quickly falls apart. She bombs the most important exam of her medical career, her boyfriend dumps her, and her best friend pulls away. And her parents, whose approval seems to hinge on how closely she follows the path they chose for her, are a lot less proud of their daughter than they were when things were going according to plan. It's a quarter life crisis of epic proportions. Angie, who has always faced her problems by working twice as hard to get half as far, is at a loss. Suddenly, she begins to question everything: her career choice, her friendships, and why she's attracted to men who don't love her as much as she loves them. And just when things couldn't get more complicated, enter Ricky Gutierrez. Brilliant, thoughtful, sexy, and most importantly, seems to see Angie for who she is instead of what she can represent. Unfortunately, Ricky also has Waste Man practically tattooed across his forehead, and Angie's done chasing mirages of perfect men. Or so she thinks. For someone who's always been in control, Angie realizes that there's one thing she can't plan for: matters of her heart. I'm really excited to read this. I don't know if I spoke to you guys about it, but I read Ties That Tether by, I can't remember the name of that author, but I'll put it here on the screen. But I read Ties That Tether, and that was such an amazing book. It also was featuring a protagonist that was of I'm pretty sure she was Nigerian, she was Nigerian, whereas this protagonist is Ghanaian American. But if I'm remembering that correctly, but yeah, still on the same vibe of like being the daughter, being the oldest or only daughter, and having a lot of expectations that come from your family, especially your parents, and that you're supposed to follow a certain path, you're supposed to marry a certain person, you're supposed to have kids by a certain age, and all that stuff. And so I really enjoy reading those kinds of stories, and I'm big on reading books that, not that I'm Ghanaian American, not directly, but I do enjoy reading stories of people that are in marginalized groups. So I'm really excited to read this, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna love it. The next book that I have is The Proposal by Jasmine Guillory, and this is not a part of the wedding date series, the wedding party series, or whatever. This is a separate standalone book. But this says, when freelance writer Nicole Patterson goes to a Dodgers game with her actor boyfriend, his man bun, and his bros, the last thing she expects is a scoreboard proposal. Saying no isn't the hard part. They've been dating for only 5 months, and he can't even spell her name correctly. The hard part is having to face a stadium full of disappointed fans. At the game with his sister, Carlos Ibarra comes to Nick's rescue and rushes her away from a camera crew. He's even there for her when the video goes viral and Nick's social media blows up in a bad way. Nick knows that in the wilds of LA, a handsome doctor like Carlos can't be looking for anything serious, so she embarks on an epic rebound with him filled with food, fun, and fantastic sex. But when their glorified hookups start breaking the rules, one of them has to be smart enough to put on the brakes. I already told you guys how much I enjoyed The Wedding Date by Jasmine Guillory. That's why I got the other two in that series. And so I'm sure I'm also going to love this book because she wrote it. And so I'm really excited because, like I said, you guys already know that I love romance. But I love, I just, I'm Black. I like reading romances that involve Black people or other people of color. And so I'm really excited about this. And I do remember that I got this recommendation by watching Shaughnessy Schroeder on YouTube, because she often makes TikToks or reels that feature diverse books. And so she'll say my top favorite romance books by Black authors or authors of color or whatever. And so if there's something that she describes in it, intrigues me, I save it on my Goodreads. And so I'm really excited. Like I said, I have high hopes for all of these books, but especially for all of my Jasmine Guillory books. Okay. Last package is this big box right here. I don't like when Amazon does that. It's like I have all my stuff coming on the same day. Put them in the same package. Like, so wasteful. And even when I select that option when ordering things, they still put them in like 50 million packages. Anyways, last but not least, we have, and this is completely different from all the other books. This is The Reformatory, a novel by Tananarive Due. Now, I got that before I read the synopsis. I got this recommendation by watching KK from Where's My Library Card on YouTube, and she read this book, and I feel like when she's reading books, is definitely more thrillers than anything. I think I've seen her read a romance, but now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like I've only ever seen her read thrillers. But I kind of dabble in thrillers. I'm a very scary person in terms of like my imagination runs wild already when I read. And so if I'm reading something remotely scary or remotely like hitting too close to home, like if it's a realistic thriller, yeah, it's yeah. But anyways, this is The Reformatory. Out of all the books, this is the only hardcover book, but that's the only way. It was either get the hardcover or pre-order a paperback, and I was like, that's not worth it. Like, I'll just get a hardcover. And I love hardcover books. Like, just makes me feel like I have actual library books. But let's see. Okay, Gracetown, Florida, June 1950. 12-year-old Robbie Stevens Jr. is sentenced to 6 months at the Gracetown School for Boys for kicking the son of the largest landowner in town in defense of his older sister, Gloria. So begins Robbie's journey further into the terrors of the Jim Crow South and the very real horror of the school they call the Reformatory. Robbie has a talent for seeing ghosts or haints, but what was once a comfort to him after the loss of his mother has become a window into the truth of what happens at the Reformatory. Boys forced to work to remediate their so-called crimes have gone missing, but the haints Robbie sees hint at worse things. Through his friends Redbone and Blue, Robbie is learning not just the rules, but how to survive. Meanwhile, Gloria is rallying every family member and connection in Florida to find a way to get Robbie out before it's too late. The Reformatory is a haunting work of historical fiction written as only American Book Award winning The Reformatory is a haunting work of historical fiction written as only American Book Award winning author Tananarive Due could, by piecing together the life of the relative her family never spoke of and bringing his tragedy and those of so many others at the infamous Dozier School for Boys to light in this riveting novel. So I'm very excited. I love the cover of this. It's just like very eerie and spooky. And so, yeah, I feel like this is definitely a book that I'm going to need to read with something else like lighter and fluffy just because of the nature of it. I mean, we're talking about a Black boy sentenced for crimes in 1950 Jim Crow South. So yeah, that's definitely something that I'll be tandem reading while reading a fluffy romance or a cutesy fantasy or something like that, just to help lighten the mood. But she raved about that book in one of her most recent videos, because today is either August 25th or 26th. I do not remember, but not her most recent video, but the video before that, she was reading thriller books. I think she was saying she was trying to get through 3 books or whatever thriller books were on her TBR, her physical TBR or whatever. But she raved about that book. She said it was really good. It took her out. So I definitely want to get into that. I do want to get into more thrillers, especially because it's like getting into fall, and I feel like that's usually when people read a lot of thrillers. But I don't know, because I'm already a scary person. I feel like I'm going to be the person that does the opposite, like reading fluffy things during the cold, kind of creepy weather, and then reading thrillers during like the summer weather to like balance it out. I don't know. But for me, this is like, it's kind of thriller, but it's more so historical fiction. It's thrilling just because of like the nature of what you have to go through as a Black person in this time in history. However, I feel like overall it really is just historical fiction with like a touch of thriller. So these are my 7 new books. I'm so excited. Am I just gonna dive into these right away? No. Like, I still use the library. Just at this point in my life, I'm most likely going to use the library more often than like actually buying books. But there's nothing like having your own books, and I really do want to build like a library of my own. So excited. I'm so excited. Look at that. Look at all these books. So yeah. Yeah, but right now I'm in the middle of reading the second book in the Fae of Snow and Ice series, which is Thorns of Frost. Like I said, I'm loving this series. Not only did it remind me how much I love fantasy, it is the book that finally convinced me to just go ahead and get Kindle Unlimited. I was able to read the first book for free just by being a Prime member. It was in Prime Reading. Fun fact, if you like to read and you're a Prime member, check out Prime Reading, because I did not realize how many books were there for free, and it's really cool. And so, oh gosh. My son was playing in the plant. You like to dig in dirt, huh, kid? So, but yeah, no, don't cut that. But yeah, the whole series, the whole Fae of Snow and Ice series is on Kindle Unlimited. So I'm really excited about that. What do you have to say? You can't eat it. Say hello. Say hello. Say shh. He's just trying to eat it. But yeah, so I'm so excited because there's also other books on my TBR that I'm finding. Like, when I was searching through books to purchase, like to have in physical copy, I'm not saying that I won't get books in the future that I've already read or that I already have as a digital copy, but I was purposely looking for books that I didn't see on Kindle Unlimited and that I haven't already read, so that I can just have like a fresh, like if I haven't been able to get to the library, I'm like, oh, I can choose something that I haven't read yet that I actually have. So yeah. I say all that to say there was books that I was looking for. I was like, yo, this is on Kindle Unlimited, so I'm gonna wait to get it in physical copy, and I'm so excited to read them. Like Demon's Dream, that's on Kindle Unlimited. I'm excited to get into my Kindle Unlimited bag. You guys know that I love a good physical book, but I also really love using my Kindle, especially when I'm out and about and I just want to be able to quickly pull out something to read. Because yes, I have my phone and I do have Kindle on my phone, but I don't always like to scroll on my phone. You know what I mean? Like, Kindle is much softer on the eyes. I don't know what the proper name of the technology is, but it's definitely not it's nowhere near as jarring as looking at a regular phone screen or TV screen or iPad screen is. So I really do enjoy reading my Kindle. And yeah. But anyways, I'm gonna go cater to this baby boy. I'm also probably going to find something to eat, and I'm definitely going to continue reading the second book in this series. And so, but yeah, out of my library books, I finished reading what's wrong, Bug? I finished reading the Bewildered Bride from that Black Regency series that I was reading. It's a standalone series, so it's actually the last book in that series, but you don't need to read them in order to be able to read everybody's stories. Like, they're everybody's individual stories. So, but I finished reading that. And so the last library book that I have to finish is A Daughter of Fair Verona, which is this cutesy yellow book that I told you guys is like a spin-off of the Romeo and Juliet story. Like, it's talking about how Romeo and Juliet didn't actually die, and they have a whole bunch of children, and their oldest daughter, or one of their daughters, you know, she's like, she doesn't think that the true love thing is a real thing or whatever, but she ends up falling for somebody. I'm pretty sure that's how it's gonna go. So, but I can't wait to read this. It doesn't seem very long at all. So, but anyways, like I said, I'm gonna go tend to this baby boy, find something to eat, keep reading, and I will check in with you guys whenever I can. I say it all the time, but life be lifing. I work full time. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, and I'm tired. So I just try to get on here when I can. And I try to put videos out when I can. But I hope you guys understand. And if you like what you see, continue to watch and subscribe and share and like and comment. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon.